Goddamn track hoe showing up to get some work done. Just saying.
Yo, what up, dude?
How you doing, man? This is the Richard Rollins of machine and hay making.
What's up, dude?
How's it going? My cousin Matt. Good to see you, man.
So you guys you get this done today?
A day? You're crazy, man. Today we're going to work on the trunner a little bit. We need to finish up the C-pillar panels and get them made into one unit with some fiberglass. And my cousin's dropping off his ASV RC60 little track machine for us to build a rear bumper for. It's got a fiberglass rear cover on it that goes up and down over the engine. And we don't want that to get damaged by something when he's out clearing brush or doing some work. So he wants us to build a rear bumper out of some dome tubing and some expanded metal. This should be a fun afternoon. Stay tuned.
So I found some of this at Napa. Obviously it says Napa on it. Right there it says will not run off of vertical surfaces, so hopefully that's true. And I haven't used the jelly before. I've used regular fiberglass resin a lot, but hopefully that in conjunction with the cloth instead of the mat makes my life a little easier and makes these things nice and strong like they will need to be. Right now I'm going to sand them down so that it actually sticks. Because otherwise, if you've ever worked with anything like, I don't know, paint or whatever, any sort of adhesive, it doesn't stick if you don't sand it, especially on nice oily plastic stuff. So this has that little texture on it too, which is not going to be helpful. I'm going to try to sand all the way through it, but we'll see. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Those two pieces I sanded with 80 grit by hand. We don't have it on the DA. And then I hit it with the DA to get it better with 180 grit. So those are nice and sanded, so the fiberglass will actually stick. There was a big gap in the middle and the transition was terrible. The angle was really bad and everything. So I put as little cardboard as possible in there. It's super thin too, so it doesn't just soak up all the resin and turn into rock. Stuck that in there to give me a nice transition between the two and actually. So I think that actually went pretty well. It was kind of tricky, but it worked out. So remember how this thing is 10 feet long? That's because all this is totaled now. It's just a sticky, gooey mess that's going to be kind of dry fairly soon. So all I gotta do is go back. Well, where are you? Not perfect method by any means, but I just tested it and it worked. Sort of. Mostly. Scraper. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to clean that. But I'll show you what it looks like after I figure out how to clean this. Alright, so got most of it with some degreaser and Scotch-Brite. I'm not going to say it worked because it's still a sticky mess, but at least the important part's clean. Just this part doesn't really matter. It's where I hang on to with the gloves, so whatever. Okay, now we'll go look at it. It's actually showing up pretty well. Okay, so you can see it actually kind of worked. Right there, things started to come apart and got a little messy, but I'll cut those off and sand it nice. You can probably see all the streaks going this way and all the ones going that way. Got to make sure you take your squeegee and go over everything super nice to get rid of all the air bubbles. If you have any air, it's going to be a weak spot and stuff's going to break or crack or whatever. Yeah, you can see I just kind of pulled it out all the way through and then kind of blended the edge with that excess too. Did the same thing over here. Pulled it out, made sure the resin's on everything, made sure it's nice and stuck. So that's actually probably, yeah, it's already kind of stiff. So it's working. It's going to be super strong when I get done actually. But I'm going to go make about a jillion more of those little pieces and keep going up and side to side. Make sure you have gloves around when you're doing this, because if you don't have extra gloves, it's not going to be a good day. It's just not. You're going to get fiberglass in your hands, then your hands are going to itch, then your nose is going to itch, and you're going to itch your nose, and your nose is going to be itchy. And it's just going to keep going. It's never going to end. This thing reminds me of fruit by the foot. Did you ever eat those? Moment of truth. Drum roll, please. I'll be damned. I actually watched it flex, and it didn't break, which is really good news. This flexing is also strength. It's like these springs. Super strong, kind of brittle. Skipping through the rest of the sanding on these. I'm using 80 grit by hand for two reasons. One of which is we don't have 80 grit in the DA, which is fine. The second of which is the DA makes a whole lot of dust, And if you've made a lot of dust with fiberglass and you don't want to wear a sweater and like everything you can possibly cover yourself in, you know that it ends at the end of the day in a fetal position in a cold shower. So I don't really want to do that. And yeah, little elbow grease, but it works. I just need it scuffed enough so other stuff sticks. There's 1 or 2 spots I'm gonna add some more fiberglass, and then it all gets body fillered and sanded down. So almost done ish. Cracky.
And then fucking call it. And then later on, I'd like to make one that wraps and comes down to here.
That'd be cool.
You know what I mean?
That'd be really easy to add
or
side
you
pieces
can just do that
on.
right now if you got a whole day to do it.
A day? You're crazy, man.
That's sick, lift it up. Don't back it into anything.
It doesn't even hurt the gravel. Doesn't even hurt the gravel, yo. Brandon's like, I don't want to hit something.
Don't back anything into it.
Alright, so Scott had me grab this stuff, which apparently is made in the USA. Not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, composite strand filler. Like I said earlier about the hardness being interchangeable. New hardener, same stuff for Red Gold. And it actually came in this can, so I didn't just grab it right away. There are never enough hours in the day. So there are about 5 things I wanted to get done today. I got done exactly 1 of them, maybe 1.5. But yeah, this is getting a little awkward, but it's gonna be a cool shot. So I'll show you what I got done. I'll show you Matt's tank, because that thing is awesome and I totally want one. So yeah, you can't see them at all, but those are done. And they look pretty good, except for like this little gap up here. I thought I got that with the fiberglass, but apparently I couldn't really see it with the bag taped up on there. It kind of pisses me off if there's a gap there, but it's not the end of the world. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Not super happy. This side, same thing. Mostly looks pretty good, honestly. And then you get up to there and there's this big annoying gap. But I guess that's how it goes. Sorry, something just fell on my eye, so I screwed up the camera for a second. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, most of it looks good though. We'll see what the boss man says. I was hoping to get that done today too, that other piece, and I barely got these two pieces done. Made the whole shop big dusty mess, and myself a big dusty mess in the process. I'm pretty surprised that I'm not super scratchy, but yeah, they came out okay. Got that done, and threw in this center console. Just cleaned it up and slapped it in like right at the end of the day. I barely had time even to do this. I'm actually working a little late, which is fine, but you can see obviously it doesn't match up there. Probably gonna have to fiberglass that or something. Maybe Scott will get rid of it just like that. And that boot, I don't know where that boot is. I didn't see it. But it's solid in there, which is nice. That matches up super nice, and it covers the little hole that's right there, so that's even nicer. Yeah, obviously there's no e-brake. Maybe we can cover that. I don't know. Just gotta see what Scott says. It's better though. This thing is super red. So Matt was talking to us about it. Down in there, see that big old arm up above that second wheel there? That is torsion bar suspension, and there's another one back where that little bolt and the big fat thing there is. So that whole track assembly doesn't have any rockers on it, but that whole track rides on torsion bar suspension. I'm not gonna say it's like the Tigers or Panzers, but it's almost sort of kind of like the Tigers or Panzers. Not really, but almost. And yeah, it's just super rad. That's cool. It has little rollers in there. Got to drive it from like right there to over here, and I totally want one. The key says Cat on it. I don't even know what brand it is. It says ASV, whatever that means. Maybe that's the brand, maybe that's something else. Whatever. Definitely want one. I think this is funny. Posi track. Ah. It says it there again. R series, is that like a race series? If they had a race series for these things, I would totally be down. Just saying. Sponsor me.